Hello everyone, welcome to another episode with Broke Girls Art School. In today's episode, I will be showing a tutorial on how I did this cover-up tattoo. This tattoo actually went on a very good friend of mine that happens to be the mother of 3 pigs. But yeah, I loved how this turned out. A cute little teacup piggy. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And if you want to continue to see some more videos of mine, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started.
All right, so you can kind of see where that cover-up lies, where the stencil is over the old tattoo. I wanted to arrange it so that most of it would be covered by the black in the mug, and the other lines I used and I incorporated into the rose, like into petals and stuff. So it turned out pretty well. Cover-ups usually need to be at least 2 to 3 times the size of the original tattoo, so to make sure you get adequate coverage. So be mindful of that for sure. So here around like the thicker outlines in the mug, I used a bit of a bigger liner than I usually do. I went around with an 11 round liner because I was going for more of a traditional feel with this piece. And then on the inside of the mug, I was using a 9 round liner like around the rose. And then I also used a 5 and a 3. So the very fine details and stuff were done with a 3. And like the lines around the mouth and everything and the nose were with a 5. I really enjoy using a lot of different line weights and like texturing pieces. Definitely makes a big difference. And after I'm done lining pieces, I usually let them soak under green soap for a couple minutes just so most of that stencil comes off and I don't have to irritate the skin by wiping it down more. So yeah, I usually wipe that stencil off, go in and touch up any lines where I need to. And kind of pay attention to the direction where you see me pushing the ink. I usually, when I'm packing solid black or packing color, use kind of like a cross-hatching method. So I'll, go in one direction, like I'll go down first and then I'll go back over. Like I'll let it bleed out for a few seconds and then I'll go back over it in the other direction. I feel like doing it that way, I avoid overworking the skin. Because a lot of the time, when you're packing something solid, you just want to get in and out, and you don't want to stay there and chew people up. That's why I also recommend, letting tattoos bleed out a little bit as you're working on them. Like, if something is, pushing out fluid, then it's not going to hold the ink as well. It's going to push out some of that ink with it, so. While I'm waiting for one thing to settle down, I'll go work in another area and just kind of hop around. I try not to stay in one spot for too long. With color pieces, I usually like to work from dark to light, so I'll get all my blacks out of the way first, because I'm going to be putting some, yellows and pinks in here, and I didn't want to have any black ink getting smeared on top of those light colors. Here I'm just doing some gray wash shading in the pig, kind of shape the face and around the eye. Yeah, and this is like right at the base of the wrist. So I usually will flex people's hand backwards so I can stretch the skin a little bit more, and I stay pretty close on the surface to the skin because you really don't want to blow out here. It's very thin skin. Now we're just getting the black shading out of the way inside of the rose. So you can see that covered up pretty much what was left over. And I just wanted to do a nice fade from black into red on the petals. And when I'm working with color, a lot of times, like if I find that the color starts to cake up on the end of my cartridge, I'll be dipping water like almost every other time that I dip into the ink. Because I feel like it spreads easier when it's a little bit loosened up by the water. So for the red, I was using Lipstick Red by Eternal, and then for my greens here, I was using Frank Sinatra Woodlands Light and Frank Sinatra Woodlands Dark. I usually always put like a drop or two of the Woodlands Light into the dark just to lighten it up a little bit more, because I didn't want it to be too close to the black color in the mug. Yeah, usually those are my go-to greens. I also really like the Solid Ink. Shoot, I forget the names of them, but they have a couple really nice green tones as well. And then here on the flowers, I was using Tequila Sunrise. I love that color pink. It's very summery. And then on the pig, I was using Bubblegum Pink by Fusion. Yeah, I really like both Eternal and Fusion. I do feel like Eternal is a little bit thicker than Fusion some of the time. But they're both really nice. And then I was using Golden Yellow by Fusion for the handle and the centers of the flowers. And getting in some last second gray shading. One more pass over the black. Wanted to make sure it was nice and solid. And I did go in and do some white highlights here and there. Yeah, I was super happy with how this little piggy came out. It was so cute. And here is the tattoo, a couple months healed up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys, and we'll see you next time.